So when I was about 15 years old, my skill level completely plateaued. I could not write riffs remotely like the bands I was listening to, which mainly was Polyphia. Polyphia is based mainly around chord melody. Chord melodies are whenever you play a rhythm part, usually just a chord, some sort of lead at the same time. I understood what chord melodies were, but with the shapes I had, which were mostly like power chords or maybe weird jazzy shapes that you needed like all of your fingers to play, it was really difficult to modify chords and kind of stretch everything where it still feels natural. I couldn't improvise a chord melody at all. But then I tried drop tuning. With drop tuning, I could play a power chord with one finger. And I had room with my 3 other fingers to do whatever I want, like play a bigger chord easily, or I could add like little melodies with my fingers. I got a lot closer to playing these chord melody Polyphia type riffs, but there was a huge problem. I could not apply the scale shapes that I learned before on standard tuning. It was very hard to rearrange the scales and try to play them without basically my low E string. Then I discovered 7-string guitars. So I was always aware of 7-string guitars. I mean, my favorite band at the time was Polyphia. How could you not know? I just never saw a point to them. Why not just tune lower? But the problem I had, a 7-string would have fixed everything pretty much. So I ended up buying this Ibanez QX527PB 7-string. I was able to get it for about $900. I saved up for like 2 months. I was working at an ice cream shop at the time. I really liked the look of this Polini Brandberg. I could not pay that much. I saw a video of Ichika Nito playing this guitar. I was like, if it's good enough for Ichika, it's good enough for me. Once I had actually gotten my guitar in the mail, I played for 7 hours straight. And I played it in drop A the entire time. I've never messed with standard tuning. It's not that standard tuning is bad, it's just drop tuning fixed all my problems. I was able to play the 1-finger power chords and get my new chord melodies in, while I was also able to, you know, have the full 6-string and play my old songs and old chords and old scale shapes. Okay, so I don't want to bore you with too much music theory, but this little bit completely changed my guitar playing. I learned how to apply it specifically through the 7-string. So you probably already know this, but within 12 frets, there is every musical note. You only need 7 notes to make a scale. You can play any scale within 12 frets on 1 string. I learned how to play the A minor scale just on the lowest A string. I was in drop A. After I learned how to play the scale on 1 string across drop A, I learned it on the E string, and then I learned it on the A string, E string, and so on. I immediately understood scales so much better than going box by box. Going string by string, it's very easy to go from side to side and up and down the neck, depending on what you want. That's one of the first things I learned that the 7-string really helped influence. Playing 7-string has launched me a lot farther than I would be right now in a very short amount of time. And I'm still learning little tricks that you can do with very low tunings that you may not be able to do on a regular 6-string, like the periphery tuning, to where you can play drop E on a 7-string and still have all of your scales and stuff. I also learned this 001 chord. I think Nick Nocturnal called it like the old man chord or something. Just a very dissonant, chuggy, heavy chord. So I would say buying a 7-string and experimenting with drop tuning are probably the two most important steps to get where I am playing right now.